Half-time then in Killarney, and it is, of course, Kerry 5 points, Cork 8 points, and as we said before, the break, Colin Rourke, you know, it is in the balance still, there's no doubt about that, but Cork have had the better of that first half.
Yeah, largely because they dominated midfield for the last 20 minutes at the half, but it's been a poor game overall as far as I'm concerned, and the amount of short passing that both defences have done over and back across the pitch has been as bad as in any other game this year. Normally you see Kerry giving a couple of short passes and somebody then coming surging at pace and taking it on the burst. They haven't done that. Cork have grown into the game, but the standard of football is poor, and you know, the Kerry seem to have a little bit up front, but they can't get the ball inside to Donaghy, and their half-forward line hasn't really functioned, so I would expect to see Paul Galvin coming on pretty quickly, and if himself and Noel O'Leary meet again, I suppose Semtex would be the sort of word that you would describe that encounter.
I suppose, Joe, in fairness, in games like this, you know, between Cork and Kerry, there's always going to be that kind of tension in it, or has been of late anyway.
Well, there is, but, you know, Kerry look as if they're very much in Munster Championship mode. You know, they don't have that. You know, when you see Kerry coming into Croke Park, their body language is different. You know, everything's done at electric speed, and they're not at that level today. And I think, you know, one of the problems they have is that they're two wing half forwards. I mean, young Walsh has been anonymous, and Darren O'Sullivan's a natural solo runner. He puts his head down and solo run. You know, Donaghy needs the ball as it is. He's been getting the ball sort of coming 30, 40 metres out before it actually comes to him. He needs it on the edge of the square. But what Cork have done in this game is what they've done throughout the league. They've just dismantled good teams in midfield. I mean, they came up to Celtic Park. I don't think Derry won a kick-out in the first half. And they've done it again today with Kerry. I counted at 12 kick-outs that Cork won to Kerry's 3 or 4. And the best way, I suppose, to deal with a team as stylish as Kerry is to simply starve them of the ball. And there are umpteen examples of this happening throughout the first half. And I mean, even when they don't actually win the primary catch, they scrap very hard for it on the deck. And they've just kept the ball off Kerry, which is why Cooper and Donaghy have been increasingly peripheral figures in the game. They are very, very, very powerful in there, and that's what Pat Gilroy experienced when he said after the Dublin-Cork match, they just blew us away out there. And just didn't let them have the ball.
That's even allowing for the fact that the Cork midfielder, Aidan Walsh, started off the game as if he thought he was in a bit of a kick-around, dispossessed the first 3 times, and has largely been sauntering over and back, soloing the ball. But, you know, the dominance of the Cork half-back line has been, for me, the most pronounced thing, particularly Paddy Kassan, who has surged forward and kicked a great point as well.
The ball away, isn't it?
Cork carry a 2-point lead at half-time, Pat. They had a goal chance as well. And also, what was a feature of this goal chance was Mark O'Shea's defending, where he's taken Kerry out of a difficult situation more than once in the half.
It was great defending. We saw something similar, remember, last night from Charlie Harrison as well. And it's a skill that's not coached that much at all. And it's a skill that requires a certain amount of bravery, but it's all about getting your 2 hands together and getting down in the kicking foot. And this is absolutely textbook cornerback defending, 2 hands down on the foot. And now, even though Kerrigan has scored 2 points, I think Kerrigan is more a natural wing forward, and he's much better attacking the ball with pace in front of him. But 2 things, can I just get back to the kick-outs? 2 things about it. First of all, Keely's kick-outs are contributing to Cork's dominance. And number 2, down through the years, the player who sucked up all that dirty ball in the middle third was Paul Galvin. There's no Paul Galvin to suck up that dirty ball there today. And number 3, that Kerry half-forward line now are all ball carriers. They all run with the ball. So they're not guys who will deliver quick, long ball, which is required into Donaghy and Cooper.
They did get a goal chance, Kerry.
They did, and they should have taken it too. You know, there was very little possession going in. And again, we have a long ball in, and Cooper again very brave. Canty takes him out of it. And, you know, Sheehan had a chance, gives it back to Donaghy. He should have stuck it in the net. We see here...
but it's the delicacy of the touch, Colin.
Yeah, but, like, you know, when forwards get the ball in that sort of position, they really should score. I know that the Cork defenders and Ray Carey comes across him, but, you know, that should have been a goal.
Yeah, it's great composure. It's very unselfish play, but like Colin says, it should have been a goal.
Oh, yeah.
It should. I suppose the bounce of the ball just took it past the post there in that situation. Joe, you were talking to us here in the studio about the Kerry's defence, the kind of blanket defence which you wanted to make a point about.
Yeah, we'll just make the point, you know, that Kerry, you know, have been doing this. They've worked on it very hard during Jack O'Connor's time, and that's what slowed Cork's attack up here. That Kerry have blocked up that central column very effectively. You know, Brian Sheehan's spent a lot of time inside his own half. You know, so I mean, they're not doing anything that other teams aren't doing. You know, I mean, there's a sort of a myth that Kerry somehow play a very pure brand of football. The difference between Kerry and teams like Armagh, for example, is Kerry make it look good because they've got Starr and Cooper and footballers like that. But you can see that they're very effectively blocking up that central column and making it very, very difficult to get quick ball into Cork's danger men, so that even whenever they are in possession here, you know, it's reminiscent of sort of Tyrone 03, Tyrone 05.
Joe, it's just an exact replica of the last 20 minutes of last year's All-Ireland, where Kerry shut up shop, went back into blanket defence, invited Cork to come on, take them on, and they had into composure.
OK, second half of Cork versus Kerry after the break. See you in a few minutes.
My dad's his mom's brother. My ma is his dad's sister.
Ulster Bank, sponsors of the GAA Football Championship.
In 1873, Adolf Coors found the perfect place to brew ice-cold beer, but it was high up in the Rockies. So he set about building a railway. He loaded the trains with barrels of his beloved beer and packed them carefully with ice so they'd stay Rocky Mountain cold and refreshing. You see, when you put that much pride into what you do, you want the whole world to share it. Coors Light, delivering